Today I'm not going to make a beat because I want to show the best beginner's equipment or the best beginner's setup for a very low price. So the first thing that we need when we want to make music is some kind of controller so we actually can feel the music and actually get our hands on something to create the music that we want. And my personal suggestion for that is the Akai MPD-218. This is a Midi controller which is very simple. It has 16 pads and it has 6 knobs, and also you can switch between banks. So this actually doesn't do a ton, but it gives you the feel of 16 pads where you actually can get like the sampling, akai, beat making feeling. And I've had this for years. Like, this was actually the thing that started my music career, or like this hobby that I'm doing right now with sampling and making music. Even though I actually started with making trap beats and then later on switched. And therefore I want to say, if your plan isn't to make sample-based music, I would recommend the Akai MPK2. I personally don't own it, but that's the small MIDI keyboard with 25 keys and then also some pads. But that is for the people who want to make melodies and also like play with 808s and stuff like that. But for all of you who want to start sampling and who want to get this 16 pad kind of workflow and tap in your samples or your chops, then this is definitely the controller to go for. And this controller right now sits at 82 euros. I will try to find it on Amazon and put an affiliate link in the description. So if you buy over this Amazon link, I will get a provision from your purchase. So that's just a way to support me. But if you don't want to, you obviously don't have to. So this controller has been great. You can see me using it and performing on it on my Instagram. And yeah, overall it's a pretty good build quality. The pads are decent. They are not as good as on the MPC, but they are definitely decent. They feel a little bit more plastic. I can try to, like, maybe you can hear it. Like, they're not as soft, like they are very hard compared to the MPC pads, but they 100% work. They still feel great, and also they are velocity sensitive, so you can still make hi-hat patterns with different velocity levels. So that's the first thing that you need. And also with this comes Ableton Live Lite. So you actually get a DAW for free, even though it's a light version, but you get a DAW for free when you buy this, which in my opinion is awesome. And that is actually exactly what I did. I started off with Ableton. So yeah, you're actually safe to purchase a DAW when you buy this. So that is very cool and something I would highly suggest you, because you save a lot of money when you just buy this controller and get your DAW for free. Next off, we of course need to hear our music, and you can just go ahead and use any kind of speaker that you have laying around. It might be a JBL box or some PC speakers that you have laying around. But at some point I would highly recommend that you upgrade your speakers. You can actually get pretty good speakers at a very low price. So these are the M Audio AV32. And these are 3.5 inches in the woofer, or whatever you call like this thing, which makes them pretty small, as you can see, like compared to my head. These are not very big, and also the tweeter is very small. But trust me when I say that these speakers can play really loud. Back here we have the RCA input, which is connected with a cable to like the small AUX cable. So unfortunately I cannot find these speakers online anymore. But I'm pretty sure that is because there is a new version and a way better version, which is called the M Audio BX3. So these are exactly the same size as these. And I think that the sound of these AV32s and the BX3s are pretty similar, even though the BX3s are probably an upgrade to these, and they only cost 100 euros, so they are actually very cheap. Also the BX3s have a balanced output on the backside. They also have a equalizer on the backside, so they are very much upgraded to these that I have right here. And also I can see on Amazon that these speakers feature the MPC software, but I won't recommend to start using the MPC software because it's just too limiting when you're just getting started, when you should like experiment with different genres and different types of music. Because when it comes to the MPC software, even though as much as I love it and as much as I love the MPC ecosystem, the MPCs are still like based around hip hop or sample based hip hop. So therefore I will recommend, instead of using the MPC software, using Ableton Live Lite that you get with the Akai MPD. But as said, these speakers are awesome, they sound good. Before I got my HS5s, I used these for like 4 or 5 years and they were great. So definitely recommendable, only 100 euros. The last thing we need is a way to connect our speakers to the PC. And even though the cable from the speakers go to one output, technically you could connect your speakers directly to a computer, but then the sound runs on your internal PC sound card, which is not gonna be like the best sound. So therefore you should go ahead and get a audio interface. And what I recommend is this Behringer Euphoria UMC22, which is a pretty long name. I've had this for like 7 years or something, and it has been absolutely great. This interface does everything you need. So it has a left and a right output at the back side for 1/4-inch cables. Then it also supports 48 volt if you have a microphone that requires that. In the front you have one line input and one instrument input. So don't get it twisted, these are not two separate inputs, you only have one input. And that means that if you're planning on sampling with this one from vinyl, you can only do that in mono. So what you would have to do is get a audio interface with 2 inputs. There's actually a UMC with 2 inputs, and it's also quite better than this. And compared to other audio interfaces with 2 inputs, the Behringer is still cheaper, but you still get up to 100 euros compared to this, which is only 52 euros. So yeah, this interface is great, and this is something you can stick with for a long time without upgrading. And it's actually a pretty good build quality for the price that you're paying, because it's actually quite heavy and the build quality is definitely fine. So I would highly recommend to get this as your first interface for only 52 euros. So these 3 and the Able and Live Light that you get with the MPD is everything that you need to start your music journey. And all of these items has been tested from me over years. Like, this is the setup that I started using, and altogether it only costs like $240. So it's very affordable and it does everything you need. So I hope that I was able to maybe help you a little bit with choosing what to buy next, or what to buy when you want to start making music. So I've linked all of these items down in the description, so go ahead and check them out if you want to. And if you made it to the end, thanks for watching, and yeah, see you in the next one.